Alright, hello everybody. Long time no see. I don't know. I guess not super long time. It's been like a week. I want to make this video to talk once more about the Zowie EC3 and also just kind of give a little bit of a live channel update. For those of you who don't follow me on Twitter, which by the way, link down below, make sure to go follow it. So I'm obviously out of school for the summer and I have been working like full time, like 40 hours a week. I've been working primarily night shifts, and that has just led to me being very busy, not only unable to record videos, but also unable to do testing for videos. Because the big thing whenever I record one of these videos is not just that, oh, I needed to like sit down for 20 minutes and record and do some light editing or whatever. But it's also that, like, for instance, to make the like 1 week of gaming with the EC3 video, I had to sit down and scrim twice. And then I had to do some other gaming to test it, and I had to like do aim trainers and specific things to like see how I liked the mouse. And I just have been unable to do that. I don't know quite how many videos I'll be able to post now that I am working full time, basically. However, it's probably not as many as I was, because although I was probably spending an equal amount of time on school than I was on work now, that time that I was spending on schoolwork was like super flexible, and I was able to push it around, and I was also just able to play more games. So I first off just want to make that little life announcement, because if you have been missing content on the channel and wondering where it is, that's what's going on. However, I have still gotten some time to use this mouse. Before I talk more about this mouse, because this is going to be sort of like 3 weeks with the... Ooh, has it been almost a month? It might have been a month. I don't know how long it's been with this mouse. Oh no, it's been like here. Yeah, it's the 21st of July when I'm recording this, so it's been around 3 weeks since I got the mouse. So it's like a 3 weeks with the Zowie EC3. Before I get into that, I do want to say, Zowie, if you are watching this, which I know you probably are, I would love it if you sent me more products to review. But yeah, Zowie actually reached out in the DMs because they did watch my EC3 video, and they noticed that I was complaining about these side buttons, and they reached out and offered to fix it. And that is something I'm super grateful for, because this is a mouse that I really enjoy using. And the side button issue, which if you don't recall, which would be completely fair because it's been a few weeks, at the front of each button, it is near impossible to press if I hit it at just the right spot. That obviously makes it really difficult to use, because if I have an ability bound to the front button and I don't hit it in the right area, that ability doesn't go off. So they reached out and offered to send out a new copy to fix that, and that's fucking awesome. And when I get that, I will talk about the buttons again. I'll make a dedicated video for just the buttons. However, I have still been using this mouse, and after more prolonged use, I have a few more points that I want to talk about. First off, these feet, Zowie feet, are so underrated, because to make sure that I wasn't like hallucinating, I actually went back to some old mice that I have that still have the stock Zowie feet on them, and these feet are really smooth. Like, don't get me wrong, they're slow. They are much slower than, like, here I have my core pads on my, oh wow, I caught the camera just right with that sensor there. On my NP01, of course, I have core pads, which are significantly faster than these Zowie feet. However, they're super smooth, and I think if you just want some slow feet, like, they're a great option. Secondly, I don't know if it's going to pick up that well on camera, but there's some major fraying going on the cable. And I think what that's from is that this is an incredibly aggressive angle. If you look, so I know this is a paracord cable on my NP01, but it's the stress relief is made to mimic the stock one, right? And as you can see, there is definitely a, sorry, I clicked something. There's definitely a slight up tilt to keep the cable off of the mouse pad, but it is a slight one, right? Whereas if you look at the EC3, it is incredibly aggressive. And what this means is, yes, the cable is leaving the mouse at an aggressive angle, but then it's also coming back down at an aggressive angle. And this leads to a lot of pressure being put on the cable right there at that point. And especially because this stress relief is so stiff, it's not rubber. Like, this is a plastic stress relief. It is, like, often coming down at this angle right here, and that's a really sharp angle, and that puts a lot of stress on that fabric there. And you can tell even after just like a few weeks of use, it's already kind of starting to fray. And I worry that after like 3 months, there's going to be like a hole in the cable right there, right? That being said, the cable itself is amazing. I still don't know if I can comfortably put it over Razer paracord cables, but this is the best paracord cable that I have gotten from a major gaming brand. For those who don't recall, whenever I talk about a major gaming brand, that's me talking about the Logitechs and the Zowies and the Razers and the Steel Series. I do include companies like Glorious and, I guess, I don't know, major gaming company might not be the correct term, but what I classify that as any, like, big market general gaming brand that makes mice for the market at large, right? So TLDR, the companies that I'm excluding are companies like Final Mouse that makes like very boutique mice. I'm excluding definitely custom mice. I'm excluding any amount of aftermarket materials. I am currently excluding Vaxi in that, just because they are so new, even though they make mice that are definitely replicas of something like Zowie that is a big market mouse. I think that Vaxi is still small enough that they are still kind of doing their own thing. But so this is the best cable that I have gotten on a like mass market mouse, right? This cable is really, really nice. I still think a paracord cable might be better. However, I've had this mouse for a few weeks. I still haven't ordered a paracord cable. I don't know if I'm going to. Part of that is it isn't my main, and I don't expect it to be my main because I do love the NP01 so much. But a big part of that is this cable is really, really decent. And if you put it in a bungee, it works really well. House Gaming, I bet you guys know him. I think it's probably very difficult to follow my channel and not know House Gaming, because I feel like he is a bigger mouse YouTuber than I am. Every time he talks about cables, I know he said this a lot in his NP01 review. He said something along the lines of he likes the slightly more stiff cables because they hold their shape in a bungee and they stay off the mouse pad. I think that point for the NP01 was not correct because that cable is a bit too stiff. However, I think that is a point worth making for this cable because it is stiff enough that, like, if you have some amount of slack, it's going to kind of stay off the mouse pad, right? It's not just going to droop straight down like it will with a paracord cable, because this is just a string, whereas this has some rigidity to it. But it does feel wireless in a mouse bungee, and it stays out of your way. Like, if I hold the cable and lift up the mouse, I'm not going to accidentally put the mouse back on top of the cable, which is an issue I sometimes can have with a mouse bungee. Sorry, not a mouse bungee, paracord cable. That is not me saying that this mouse has a better cable than a paracord cable, and that's not me saying that I prefer this cable over a paracord cable. But that's me saying that this cable has a lot of good things about it, and it's not necessarily something you need to paracord. I think if you order this mouse, you shouldn't order a paracord with the mouse. Like, oftentimes, when I got my NP01, I placed an order for the NP01 and a paracord cable on the same evening. When I used to order my Zowie mice, I would do the same thing. I don't think you should do that with this mouse, because I think the cable is going to work perfectly for some people, and I think you should use it for a week or two and see if you like the cable, and then decide if you want to paracord it or not. Personally, I don't think I am going to paracord it. So this is really, really nice cable. Really, really nice feet. The weight, if you notice, I'm kind of talking about the upgrades to the C series first. The weight isn't necessarily something I noticed. However, again, the mouse that I'm used to right now is the NP01, which is 75 grams. It's only about 5 grams lighter. I think if you're coming from an EC2 original one, which is around like 90-95 grams, you're going to notice it a lot, because this is 20-25 grams lighter. And it certainly feels light, which is actually a really big thing, because old Zowie mice used to actually feel heavy, especially after using the super lights of the world and the Vipers of the world. Like, these are actually truly light mice, and I think after using mice like that, it's pretty hard to go back to original Zowie mice and be content. However, something like this, which is like 75 grams and really well balanced, like, it feels light. And I think that this is a mouse that, because of the weight, if you're coming from a super light or a G Pro wireless or a relatively light mouse, like this mouse isn't going to feel heavy to you at all. It is 70 grams. It's a light mouse. Scroll wheel, I've been liking a lot. It's incredibly similar to a Vaxi scroll wheel. I think it's maybe a teeny bit less tactile and a teeny bit quieter, but the scroll wheel is very similar to Vaxi. It's great. I like it. But again, I say this every single time I talk about Vaxi or Zowie. Part of the reason I like the scroll wheel so much is because I use the MX Master 3 when I'm not gaming. And that means that I can like a scroll wheel for gaming only, and it means the mouse is good. This scroll wheel, not great for browsing all day. If you're like a college student, you need to like scroll through documents for homework, and you don't have the means to get two mice, don't get this mouse. Get something like the Superlight, get something like the Viper. These big gaming brands put really good scroll wheels in their mice. That being said, if you have the means to use two mice, or you have a gaming PC that is pretty much only for gaming, Zowie scroll wheels are really good now. The clicks, I haven't had many issues with it. They've been actually really comparable to Vaxi clicks and the NP01 click, in that they do have a lot of post travel, but that does almost make the click feeling a little bit better. I still think that it might not be great for everybody, and there's definitely there is post travel, and I think there's something to be said for not liking that post travel. But I think it's honestly just fine. And I honestly like the clicks quite a bit. Yeah, I think that's kind of all I have to say about the mouse. I just wanted to give a little update on the videos and on this mouse. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll try to be putting out content more often. I think I can probably commit to like a video a week at least. But no promises. Make sure to follow my Twitter. I'm going to put it down below. If I have any updates, I will obviously tweet them first, because that's just so much easier than making a video about it. So make sure to follow that. I hope you guys enjoyed nonetheless, and I'll see you guys next time.